Because it's been a very long reading from the Gospel this morning, we won't have a homily. So you must be all very happy now. But I just want to point out something very significant that happens throughout Holy Week, and that is the role played by women. The role played by women, and contrast that with the role played by men. And at the very beginning of the Gospel this morning, very beginning really, we hear and this happened on the fourth day of the week, of the last week of Jesus' life. We're told that while they were at table, a woman came with an alabaster jar of perfumed oil. We don't know who she was, so we don't want to put a name on her. But I was doing a little bit of research, and apparently that alabaster jar and the perfumed oil was something extremely precious and pricey, something very expensive. So it was, what most people could never, ever afford, which is interesting. And the other interesting thing is, when you go back and do some research, if you have a very expensive bottle of perfume, you tend to use it very, very, very sparingly. Huh? She broke open the jar and used the whole jar, poured it over Jesus. And people there were amazed. It would have perfumed the whole countryside, really. Certainly everybody in the area around that home. And then contrast that to the man. And we'll just pick out a very significant sentence in the Gospel this morning. And that refers to Peter. And what are we told about Peter? Simple, one-line sentence. Peter followed him at a distance. At a distance. Didn't want to be involved. How often we are like that. It might be interesting to repeat, and I cannot repeat it often enough. Jesus never in the Gospel or said, worship me. But many, 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 many times Jesus said, follow me. Easy to worship, more difficult to follow. Now, I just very briefly want to go through what's happening here on Holy Week, because in case some of you do not look at the web, or maybe don't get a parish bulletin. So tomorrow is Monday, you know that. And the day after is Tuesday. And on Tuesday, we have a reconciliation service at 12 o'clock. And everybody or whoever comes will be forgiven of their sins. And we all need forgiveness. And since school will be still here, we have to have it in the church, so the numbers will be limited. But this is an important thing to say. If you come, you cannot get into the church. By the very don't go away, but just remain near the church. And the very fact that you left home to come, you'll be forgiven too. Does that make sense? No, this is serious. For example, if you leave home someday to come to confession, and on the way you have an accident, or God forbid you're killed, Your sins are forgiven. Because why? The intention was in your mind. That's very important to say that. And then for those who can't make it at 12 o'clock, and people maybe who have come at 12 o'clock and have committed more sins in between, you can come back at 7 o'clock and have your sins forgiven again. So, so you can't lose. Well, that's it. And then on Holy Thursday, we'll have the Holy Thursday solemn celebration of the Lord's Supper, and that'll be here in the tent, and both Marcina and myself will be involved in that. And then on Good Friday at 12 o'clock, there will be a prayer and music, both in the tent and live streaming, followed at 12:45 by Stations of the Cross, and then 1:30 p.m. liturgy and adoration of the cross and Holy Communion. And that again in the evening at 7 o'clock, for those who can't come at 12, liturgy, adoration of the cross and Holy Communion in the church. And that will be with limited seating. And then on Holy Saturday, it's different from normal Holy Saturdays, the solemn Easter Vigil will take place here in the tent. And that will be at 5:30 in the afternoon. And then on Easter Sunday, we'll begin and then continue on following Sundays. We'll have Mass at 8 o'clock here in the tent. At 9:30 a.m., we will have Mass here in the tent and Mass in the church. So you'll have a choice of two very nice priests. And I know it's going to be a terrible decision to make. And then those two very nice priests, at the next Mass, one will be shifted out of the church over here, and the other will be told to go into the church. So there'll be great toing and froing on Easter Sunday. And then at 5:30 p.m. on Easter Sunday, you'll have just one priest, an extremely nice priest. He'll be oh, well, you have to praise yourself. He'll be celebrating the 5:30 Mass, 5:30 p.m. on Sunday evening. So that's it now, and